Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar!
Did Allah commit shirk? Make sure to watch till the end to find out. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Allah is a false god.
Why? Yeah, well, hold on. Why is Mary not only the greatest woman Allah created, the only woman mentioned by name, and why is it that Jesus is born of a virgin? Please don't tell me Adam and Eve. That's going to backfire against you. But go ahead, use that argument. Why is Jesus born of a virgin?
Because this is the way Allah decided of making him born. Allah
Gee, what a coincidence. Of all the persons, Jesus is the one born of a virgin. Of all the persons, Jesus' mother is the only one mentioned by name. Of all the persons, yes, Jesus' mother is the greatest woman. And it's just because Allah decided to do that for just this one person and nobody else. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing special. Yeah. Are you serious?
Okay, well, let me use this argument against you then.
Please do.
Prophet Moses, the only prophet in the Quran mentioned by name that Allah talked to.
That's a lie.
What else?
That's a lie. That's not what the Quran says. You're lying again.
No, I know there's a by name.
No. You just read it. Chapter 3, verse 55. Was Allah talking to Mickey Mouse or Jesus? You just read it. Who was Allah talking to in chapter 3, verse 55? Mickey Mouse?
Okay, you want me to use a different argument then?
No, wait. Stick with that first argument. Wait. Stick with the first argument. Buddy, you just said, can I finish your point? Can I finish your point? You just said, Moses is the only one that Allah spoke to directly. No, that's a lie. In chapter 3, verse 55, can I finish? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar! Let me finish the point so people hear what you said, dude. Don't go in panic mode. Because now you backtrack. You said,
I know what you're trying to say.
So let me finish the point for the people who are listening. You said that Moses is the only one that Allah spoke directly to. That's a lie, because in chapter 3, verse 55, it says Allah spoke directly to Jesus. So that example is not going to work. Throw that out the window.
No, you don't know if the angel is bringing this news.
Here again, we have Allah failing to communicate, because Allah, even though he said the Quran is his word, and even though the Quran is supposed to be fully detailed, it forgot to add the detail. It wasn't Allah who said to Jesus, "Oh Isa, I'm going to cause you to die and raise you to myself." It was actually the angel who said that. You see, you keep accusing Allah of being the worst communicator known to mankind. The verse is plain. Allah spoke to Jesus.
We don't know if it was an angel in between, because
yes, we do, because the Quran. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do, because the Quran is a book that supposedly provides complete details, explains everything. If the Quran wanted me to know that it's Gabriel speaking to Jesus, it would have said Jibril came to Isa and said, "Ya Isa, Allah says X, Y, and Z." But in 355, it says Allah said to Jesus. You don't get any plainer than that, because would you deny in 5:116 that Allah and Jesus are actually talking to each other when it says Allah will say to Jesus, "Oh Isa, did you tell mankind to take you and your mother as two gods besides Allah?" Is Allah speaking to Jesus, or is that the angel again?
This is the Day of Judgment, I believe.
Okay, so is Allah speaking to Jesus, or is it the angel again?
We don't know. This is probably Allah, because Day of Judgment, everyone.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to the point. We're tiring people.
Okay, can I say one? Can I say one point?
Go ahead.
Can I say one point?
Go ahead.
So when using your earlier argument, so okay, Prophet Yusuf is the only one that sajda was done to another human being on the earth.
Okay,
we can use this.
You sure you want to use that argument?
Isn't he special?
You
Isn't
sure?
he very unique?
You sure you want to use that argument, sajda? Because everyone just heard you use the word sajda. You sure? You want to use that argument?
Prostration was done by his brother.
Okay, so prostration, right? And I know what you're referring to. Surah Al-Yunus, Ayah 4 and Ayah 100. Yes. Chapter 12, verse 4, chapter 12, verse 100. I know what you're referring to. You pause it if you want to go there. You want to use that argument.
I mean, that was just the point, but I know what your argument is. Shirk. I already heard your argument before.
Okay.
Even though
so but wait,
not at all.
But Yunus is not the only one that had sajda being offered to him. Adam had all the angels offering sajda to him, right?
But Prophet Adam too, which debunks your whole shirk argument.
It shows that you have no clue how to refute these contradictions in the Quran. But let's put that aside. Yes, Yunus received sajda. All right. So did Adam.
Yusuf.
Yes, Yusuf. I'm sorry, because the Arabic word Surah Al-Yunus is chapter 10. Surah Al-Yusuf is chapter 12. Sorry, forgive me, my friend. I have a hard time speaking English, let alone Arabic. Allah. All right, now let's get back to the point. You're going to compare a person receiving prostration to Jesus, whose mother is said to be the greatest woman that Allah created, the only woman mentioned by name, who was born to her while she was a virgin, no man touched her, who did things that only Allah does in the Quran, such as create birds from clay and breathe life into them, to a man receiving prostration from his family members. So you can single out one unique feature of Joseph, but all these other unique characteristics that are attributed to Jesus alone, that he alone is called the word of Allah, a spirit from him. His mother was a blessed virgin that conceived him and gave birth to him. His mother is the greatest of all women, the only woman mentioned by name. Jesus creates clay, fashions a bird from clay, breathes into it, and makes it a living bird the same way Allah did for Adam. Let's ignore all these plethora of characteristics and focus on one aspect, that these people prostrated to Yusuf, and it makes him equivalent to Isa. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Oh, no. I can bring you another if you want.
You can see, you still don't get it. Whatever you bring me, it's not going to compare to Jesus doing what only your God can do. Can you show me someone besides Allah and Jesus creating from clay and breathing life into that clay and making it a living being? That's astonishing. You're giving me some silly, superficial examples, but the examples that matter, that shows that Jesus is more than a man, let's ignore that. So here I'm going to call your bluff. Show me someone other than Allah and Jesus, in the Quran that raises the dead. Show me someone other than Allah and Jesus that creates from clay and breathes into the clay and makes it come to life. Can you show me those examples?
Yes.
Please.
Dajjal is going to raise someone from the dead.
Okay, wait.
One.
The hadith.
The hadith.
You're going to go to hadith? Which part of Quran wasn't clear?
It's not an authentic hadith.
You mean the same hadith that Jesus comes down and kills the Dajjal, who's been alive for 2,000 years? I'm going to use the hadith to embarrass you, but before you go to the hadith, in the Quran, show me where someone other than Allah and Jesus creates from clay and breathes life into it and gives life to the dead. I'll adjust the Dajjal part and it's going to backfire against you. Can you show me that?
If we're going, no, there is none, but there is 120,000 prophets. We are not giving.
Where does the Quran say there's 120,000 prophets?
What we know,
where does the Quran say 120,000 prophets?
What is that?
Where does the Quran say 120,000 prophets? Okay. Which, I know maybe to you the Quran is the hadith, so let me say it 3 more times fast. Where does the Quran say? Where does okay, so now we got that fact. So the Quran doesn't say that, right?
Doesn't say.
Okay, now let's come back. So you're saying these 120,000 prophets were so unimportant that your God didn't bother to mention them, but he mentions Jesus and highlights Jesus and ascribes to Jesus qualities that he doesn't give to anyone else.
No. So
This is
argument, that because Allah doesn't mention the previous prophets.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
We don't know how long.
Let me correct you again. You didn't hear what I said. You just said.
Show me one prophet.
You just
the Red
said.
Sea, like prophet. No, just do this. If you want to use.
I'll get there. I'll get there. Hold on. Breathe. I'll get there. You just said that these 120,000 weren't so important to be mentioned by.
I didn't say that. You said it. You said it.
But Jesus is so important. Not only is he mentioned, his mother is the greatest of all women, the only woman mentioned by name, who conceived and gave birth to Jesus as a virgin by the Spirit of Allah, who creates life like Allah does and raises the dead. But let's ignore that and go to these superficialities. So now let's go to Moses. Who actually split the Red Sea? You sure you read your Quran carefully? Was it Moses or did Allah do it when Allah showed up in a pillar of a cloud?
This is the miracle of Allah.
Okay. So who actually did it? This is splitting of the Red Sea.
By Allah's permission is split when he
Allah actually split the Red Sea by calling in an east wind, right? Not the Red Sea, yes, Red Sea, I'm sorry. When Moses hit the staff, Allah commanded the east wind to come and split the Red Sea. So it was Allah who did it, at the beck and call or the intercession of Moses. But who actually created, can I finish the point? Who actually created clay, a bird from clay? In chapter 3 of the Quran. Okay, but you're not listening. I'll get to bi-idhnillah. Friend, don't tap dance. I know you're scared. I'm going to get to bi-idhnillah. It's going to embarrass you. Just be patient. Who actually fashioned the clay with his hands? Was it your Allah who came down and took the clay, or was it Jesus?
I have to go back to the verse.
Chapter 3, verse 50.
Who does it?
Jesus. Chapter 3, verse 50.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. He actually fashioned it. Who actually breathed? Was it Allah from heaven went, or does it say Jesus breathed?
Jesus.
Okay. So now let's go with bi-idhnillah. So Allah permitted Jesus to take clay with his own hands, the hands of Jesus, and create with his own hands and use his own breath to make this bird come to life with Allah's permission. And you still don't see that Allah just made Jesus his partner in creating and giving life.
This is a foolish argument. This is,
yeah. Okay.
Do you not understand what Allah's permission
okay.
means? If Allah didn't give permission, it wouldn't have happened.
So you're just admitting Allah permitted Jesus to be his partner in creating and giving life, right?
No.
Because you just said Allah permitted, right?
What's that?
Allah permitted him, right?
Allah let him do it.
Okay, so let me go with what you're saying. Don't backtrack. Allah let Jesus create and give life in the same way that Allah created and gave life to Adam, yes?
Yes.
So you guys, you heard it, yes? He said yes. So Allah made Jesus a partner with him in creating and giving life. So Allah just committed shirk. Allahu Akbar. Thank you.